Hi everyone. So if you are a PhD aspirant, doesn't matter if you are in masters or bachelors, then this video is one of the most important videos you will ever see. So in this video we'll be discussing about how to choose a guide. How to see, whatever expectations you have or whatever things you're looking for in a guide is relevant for you. And overall, what are the common qualities you should definitely look for a guide. I thought of making this video especially because in foreign you can easily see that people don't have a lot of issues or don't have a lot of conflicts with the guide, but in India the number is significantly high for the people who are facing this. I know a lot of people from institutes such as IISc maybe, and top tier institutes maybe like IIA and all, who are not able to get compatible with the guide, and end of the day they had to just leave the PhD and just look for the another PhD position later. So it was no one's fault, of course, but it's always about the compatibility, what you are looking in a guide. So that is why it is very very important that before you join, you should definitely look for these things which I'm going to tell you now in detail, and then decide if you should join institute or not, or that guide or not. So let's say you're applying in India and everywhere, and you're appearing for interviews, and let's say you got shortlisted for couple of institutes, or maybe at one institute of your choice, but there are a lot of people working in your research area, whatever you are interested in. So what the first thing you would do, and definitely you all know what to do the first thing, and that is just just browse the website, open up their profile, and just look at what kind of research they are doing. So the professor which are doing research very closest to your area of interest, like, will be the priority by you, right? uh, then you should go little deeper in that, and then you should look for the uh, like how many PhD students does the professor have, if they have or not, how many students they have. So you can easily find that. After that you should look at the like how many papers they are publishing in that field. So uh, there's this thing, okay, so there are people and who have been working in certain field for, let's say, 5 or 10 years, and then they thought of shifting the field. Okay, so let's say if they're working in XYZ field, and then they shifted to ABC field according to this change in the area, and then they are planning to have the students in that to pursue research in that new area. So you should be clear about that, the present research of the guide, not the topic that he pursued in his masters, sorry, I mean in PhD or postdoc. So you should look at the publication list and the recent one, and then you will realize ki what are the couple of topics, what are the topics that he is currently working on. After that, now you know how many PhD students he has. Okay, so then you can using Google Scholar or ResearchGate, whatever feels good, relevant to you. Look at the professor's guide's profile on that, and just check how many papers is he publishing with his PhD students. So let's say he has 3 students, and let's say one is in like 4th year and the other one is like 2nd year and 3rd year. So you can see how many papers he has published with the 4th year, how many papers he has published with the 3rd year and the 2nd year. So this will give you a rough idea, right? Ki, what how many papers like he's having target or something like that, because there are professors who will take a lot of time to publish, maybe very good quality, or maybe something like that. So what happens is people, like, students sometimes gets frustrated, like if they are in their 2nd year, or maybe they have seen they are in like 2.5 years have passed and they don't even have a paper, and then they see their colleagues and they are just publishing within 2 years they published 2 papers. So you, according to your priority, let's say if you are looking at something like, yeah, I have to publish a lot of papers and plan accordingly, so you should consider this fact. So if the professor is publishing paper with his students, then that's a very good thing. That means they are very active, and then you can dig a little more deep. What you can do is you can check the co-authors of that paper, right? So first author would be the PhD students, second most probably will be the guide, and are there any co-authors, right? So co-authors means the collaborations. So let's say if you want to work in XYZ field and you find a PhD student already in working in that, and the guide has already published with the papers with him, then you, looking at the co-authors, you may realize what collaborations he is having, national and international. So you can Google those professors name and just check it, and how frequent is that, right? It's not just let's say not just for on paper, but maybe the professor has collaboration, very good collaboration, and each and every paper with that professor. So this will give you an idea of the kind of collaborations that are there. So it's, people actually write a lot of collaborations here and there on their profile and all, but you should actually look for in present what are some active collaborations that he is working with and he is letting his students to work with. That is very, very important. So, because you would like to work on that too, right? So that is the thing. So now what you have seen, you have looked for the his academic profile, then you have looked for the PhD students if they have his current research, and how much active he is, how many papers his students are publishing, his PhD students are publishing, and how frequent they are, and also collaborations, right? Now this is all done, and now you have shortlisted professors according to your choices, whether so according to your area of research and everything, which professor is very closer to yours and how many papers and everything. Now you have list of professors. Let's say you have 4 or 5 professors. Academically you find them really good or really suitable for you academically, right? So you have seen all that. Now what you should do is, now this is a very, very important part, and this is I would request you to have some kind of a bit of, let's say, a courage also, okay, and some kind of will to do that. Because if the step I'm going to tell you don't follow that, then maybe you won't be very much satisfied during your PhD. Maybe you'll stay a bit of frustrated or something like that, okay, and it won't be good for you, right? Because you are here to do research on your own will. You are here to do research because you want to contribute to the scientific community, just not to avail 31,000 or 35,000 like GRFS service step. It is not a job, right? PhD is not a job. So 5 years should be exciting. 5 years should be learning for you, and you must be able to retain the kind of passion you had before joining PhD, and you must have that kind of dedication. So what you should do is, you should either you have to find out how the guide is personally with their students, okay? So how he is treating his PhD students accordingly, how much, okay? Some people also say, some students may also think that they think that they should get a guide who can give them some time, okay? So there are people who might be really good at research, but they are not able to give the kind of time you are expecting, right? So this may come as a shocker to you if you after join the institute, or maybe there are professors who are not let's not say that they are not treating well, but not the kind of behavior you are expecting, a bit strict or something like that. So different kind of people, like different kind of us may expect different different ones may expect different kind of things from the kind of guide they're looking for. So you have to look for that, how personally he is behaving with his students, how much time he is able to give, and how much he is motivating, and what kind of responses he is giving to his students, whether he is not even just considering it everything, or whether the students are doing research on their own and the professor is just proof checking the papers and just helping out overall in between. These things matter a lot, okay? So if you don't do this before joining the institute, and it may come as a shocker to you, then it will be a waste of time for you, as well as the not a waste of time, but not good utilization of time for you as well as the professor, because neither of you will be happy. right? So you should have the kind of, some a bit of little bit of expectation. And of course, uh, some places, some institutes have some professors who are not at all, good to their students, who are a bit, kind of rude or something like that, and people and those students don't generally like that thing. So you should be able to find all these things out, and these things you cannot find on social media. Okay, so guts I was talking about is that you should check about the person you are joining, how is he personally too with the people. So you can check out with the, masters or bachelor students if they are taking any classes from him. And the best one would be, approaching any PhD students under him or in that department. Let's say it's electrical or mechanical or any department. So you can approach students there. They can tell what kind of, reputation he has, and what kind of behavior he is having towards everyone. So this is a very important point for you, and I'm just, emphasizing that it's an important point because this is a very important thing, because you are going to spend 4 5 years with one person with a full dedication. So you don't want to, just count the days from the starting, that okay, let's wait for more years and let's get a PhD and go from here. It should not be like that. You should be able to enjoy everything. You should grow along with your guide, and you should have, good tuning, right? Then only uh, he'll be able to help you, and you'll be able to, learn from him. So that is the thing. So along with, academic criteria, looking at what kind of, academic profiles he has or she has, and what kind of achievements they have, that is a separate part. But the kind of the personal behavior and how much time and everything is able to give to the students is also a very very important part that one should keep in mind if they are looking to join that professor. And after knowing all these things only, then you should decide which place or which, professor you should join. Okay, just do not solely depend on the kind of, academic, like the profile of the guide, or let's say. Okay, so take your time, uh, just look for all these things, and yeah, and then finalize it. Okay, so if you have any comments, if you have any suggestions, or if you have any questions, then definitely you can drop in the comment, and we'll see you in the other video. Goodbye.